Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this property analysis. My name is Ryan Cushman. I'm a realtor and investor in North Georgia. And my focus in these videos is to help you find and analyze investment properties, short-term rental properties that will provide cash flow and opportunity for you and your family. I'm going to jump right into it. I've been a little slow on getting these out, and I plan on putting out a few of them here shortly. So if you want to catch up with me, you're welcome to check out my website, ryancushman.com. I'm on Instagram at Cushman_REI. Feel free to ping me there or reach out to me through my website. You can download a couple of free resources, book a call with me, and I'd love to connect with you and help you get started on your short-term rental investing journey or a continuation of it for you. All right, so let's dive into it. I found this is a unique property I've looked at a couple of times. Let me, there we go. Okay, so this is in Cleveland, Georgia, and it is a little bit flamboyant. It's a little bit unique. It's an A-frame, which is uncommon. It's a one-bedroom, which is uncommon, and it's obviously painted very, very brightly, very flamboyantly, so to speak, and that may not be for everyone. But I wanted to take a look at it because it is so unique, and I've had my eye on it for a while. It says it's been on the market for 79 days, but actually they've effectively been trying to sell this property for about a year. The current owners bought it back in 2022 at $185. And then they relisted it for sale at around the price it's listed at today, back in April of last year. So and they've gone on and off the market a couple of times, but they've effectively not dropped the price. It's been listed at $215 off and on for the better part of over a year now. So let's take a look at the photos here. All right, so we got a pink exterior, we got rainbow railing here, pink chairs, but it's small and cute, and one bedrooms and A-frames are very uncommon in the marketplace. As I've mentioned in previous videos, something that's kind of cool is they've got this little doggy cabin over here, which I think is a big something I thought about adding to one of my properties as well, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But I think it's a great idea, and especially in North Georgia, as I've mentioned in previous videos, being pet friendly is, I think, a must. Unless you have like a super luxe, deluxe property where you want to make sure you're not taking on any pet damage, then for everyone else, I think you have to be pet friendly, and I think you have to kind of lean into it. Like, hey, bring your dog here, do photos with pets in the photos, and because everyone seems to have a dog and they want to bring their pets to North Georgia to go hiking, and this would be exactly that for this property. So we've got very rainbowy paint design in the bathroom here, but look, it's nice. Obviously, the slanted walls make this a little bit of an awkward location for the sink. You got your mirror next to you instead of in front of you, which is kind of funny. But it's been nicely rehabbed and refurnished. Nice countertops. Looks like we maybe have a small fridge maybe down here where we can't see it, but we've got a toaster oven because no oven, and I would imagine maybe we have like an electric cooktop that we can pull out, or if we don't, that would be something that you'd want to add. Oh yeah, here's the electric cooktop. Okay, so yeah, mini fridge down here. It's got everything you need. It's a small place. We got our bed and some seating. Doesn't look like there's a TV anywhere, or maybe there is upstairs in the loft area. All right, we got a workspace. just click through these. All right, so yeah, here's the solo stove fire pit situation. I think this could actually maybe be built out and with pavers, or I don't know, swapped out for. Although I like these, perhaps a more built out fire pit could be an opportunity there. Yeah. So ding ding ding. What's the thing that's missing here? Hot tub. And we'll look in the numbers and see that could make a huge difference in the profitability of this place. I also think that, if you're not on board with leaning in with the rainbow aesthetics, it wouldn't be that big a deal to. This is a small property to get it repainted, and it already is nicely rehabbed. It just would need potentially a facelift, some paint on it, and maybe swap out some of the paint decor if you're not into that. Otherwise, you could probably lean into it and do just fine. The uniqueness of it, I think, could be a big sticking point. There are those that are going to avoid this and be like, no, that's too much for me. I don't want to wake up to that. Rainbow barf everywhere, but to a lot of other folks, there's a market for everything out there. So I think you could potentially be just fine leaning into this and having a cute, nickname for your property, A-frame themed and rainbow themed. I don't know. There's a lot of opportunities here. All right, so let's take a look here back at the listing. I thought this was a little funny. This is a Bubblicious pink fantasy explosion of color. Escape to your private North Georgia mountain retreat. Insta-worthy A-frame. And I don't disagree with that at all. All right, so where is this place? Here's a zoomed out view of North Georgia. Atlanta's down here. I've done a couple of reviews on properties over in Helen. Helen's a big attraction, little German town. We are kind of up in the mountains here, which I think is great. There are a ton of great hiking trails, where the Blood Mountain, Mountain Overlook. Some of these hikes are like iconic in North Georgia. Beautiful places for awesome hikes. I mean, this is not far away. This is a beautiful destination and hike for hiking enthusiasts. There's also a ton of waterfalls around here, not very far at all. Beautiful hiking locations within stone throws distance from where this property is located. Tons of waterfalls, like I mentioned, and state parks. It's a bit of a hiker's paradise, and again, it's only like 25 minutes to Helen, which is a fun place, and just I think a lot of great North Georgia experiences that you can have not far from here. All right, so we've locked in the price, we've locked in the property, the location has lots of great stuff around it. Not far from also Dahlonega, which is a cute town. All right, so let's plug it into a couple of pricing and revenue estimation tools. When you plug it in, the default is uncompelling. And so let's take a look at some of the properties. Well, let's go ahead and adjust the filters to be more relevant to what we've got going on here. I'm going to bump up the average rating. We don't want anything that's really less than 4.5, but we'll stick to 4. Let's bump out the range to like 6 miles. Guest reviews to 5. And it doesn't currently have a hot tub. So we're comparing ourselves with all properties, whether they have a hot tub or not. And we are going to add a hot tub because you'd be dumb not to. And it pulls in $54K is the estimate for the average. Now they're all over here. Let's take a look at so this property has shown up in Price Labs, which I'll point out to you. This is a super property. We'll have a hard time competing with this one. It's also super unique. It's got a little bit more square footage. It's 1 bedroom, and it's clearly just killing it. This property, I don't know what these numbers mean. 13% occupancy, $1,300 a month. But this is also seemingly a super property. If it's a 1 bedroom, it's a huge 1 bedroom. It's got this giant putting green out there. So a couple of these are a little far away and doing really well, and this is just the average. So if you do, there aren't many properties showing up in the results here though. So maybe we want to bump out our radius, because I think we're in a spot where there just aren't that many properties on the market close by, which can be a little bit scary, but also is an opportunity. All right, so when we pull in a few more properties, our average is 47K, which I don't think is unreasonable, but we got a couple of, this looks like a duplicate. Are these are different properties, mirror view of each other? Yeah, so we got some super properties in here that are pulling up huge numbers. If we did the 75th percentile, that'd be 124K. All right, so if we're comparing ourselves to a bunch of super properties, these numbers are probably going to be a little bit lofty. But all right, let's maybe try bumping out the radius even a little bit further. See if we can get some more data points in the mix here. All right, 55. So yeah, the numbers are compelling though, and we've got some more standard looking properties in here. Got some on the lake, which is a big plus for those properties. All right, so a little bit hard to tell based on Rabu, but obviously, you know, if we were commanding this kind of revenue at this property, it'd be a slam dunk, a home run, a slam run, a home dunk even. Let's check out what Price Labs has to say. All right, so when we plug in the address to Price Labs revenue estimation tool, I went ahead, pre-filtered a few things, and it gives us a range of which, so I want to include active listings. I added a hot tub, and I want to compare myself with properties that have at least some reviews and a minimum of a 4-star rating. I've got a radius of about 15.5 miles. It gives us an estimation of between 20 and 33. And I'll show you how. Okay, great. This is doable. When we look at some of the comparables here, I'll go ahead and just close these out so we can open them fresh. This is that super property that that we found in the other in Rabu, and according to Price Labs, it's doing $115,000 a year, and that makes sense. This property is pretty awesome. Now, when we open up a couple of these other ones, this one is cute, right on a little pond, so that's nice. Looks like it's maybe a little bit bigger than our 1-bedroom A-frame, and it's doing 41. This property right here is pretty plain Jane and very basic. It's very nice. It's nice. They've done a decent job with it. It's got a little creek on the property. The photos are subpar, I would say, and it's pretty big for a 1-bedroom. So so that's doing 31. And I would say that that property and this one that we're opening up here are not unique properties. They've got some water features on the property. This one is, yeah, very, very basic. Lots of things that I would change about this property. It does have, it looks like it maybe is on the other side of that little pond from one of the other properties we were just looking at. And it's doing 31K. And I think this one's hosted by Olive. So a very basic property, managed by a big dumb property manager who doesn't do a good job historically, is doing 31. So I think it's easy to see that the uniqueness of this A-frame, I think, could go a long way. There's a tiny property, which, yeah, looks good, but isn't anything special. And doing somewhere in the 25 to 35 range, or even close to 40, I think, for this unique of a property, very reasonable. So let's check it out. Let's check out the math. All right, we're listed at 215. We're doing 20% down. We're going to add 15. We're going to budget 15K for things like a hot tub, which you can get a hot tub for, especially for a small property, off of places like Wayfair for $3,000 or $4,000. Then you just got to figure out where to put it, where to wire it up. You may need to build a little deck space somewhere close to the property. So account for about 15K in. And you may even be able to repaint the place if you don't want to stick with the rainbow aesthetics in that budget. So we've got a couple of scenarios here. I've factored in approximations of all the expenses here. I don't think it would cost very much to clean the place, maybe $100, but you charge $115. And let's see what these scenarios do at 110 per night, 50% occupancy, 128 per night, 2/3 occupancy, 135 a night at 83% occupancy. Let's see what that does. So we're doing 20, 30, and 40K per year. We're basically breaking even at 20K a year. So not great, but also you don't really have to do a whole lot just to cover your costs. Then, at 30 and 40K per year, we're making $700-800 a month, or even, in the $15,000 to $2,000 a month. I've got a little 1-bedroom property that does about 44K per year. Let's and I got it for close to this, not far off from where this price point is. Let's bump this up to 27 nights, 26 nights, which is about close to what my occupancy is. And it's doing, yeah, that's real close to the number that I earn. It's pulling in about that much in cash flow every month. Totally doable. And the A-frame effect, the uniqueness effect, I think there's an easy path to making some good money with this property. So anyway, thank you for checking out this video, watching the whole way through. If you're interested in this property or any other property in the North Georgia Mountain Market and you want to talk shop, or you want to use my free short-term rental investment calculator, check me out on ryankushma.com. I'd love to help you out on your journey. Let's take the next steps and help you find that perfect investment property for you. Stay tuned for more deal reviews coming to this YouTube channel for properties that are for sale today on the market in North Georgia. Thank you so much for checking this out, and we'll see you next time.